So I want to start a series about using interfaces in Unreal Engine. Interfaces are good for sharing information between objects as an alternative to casting. With casting, you can get access to everything about the object you're casting to, but that's really what we actually want to do. Interfaces are better than casting for multiple reasons, but mostly casting is process expensive. So if you cast a lot in your project, you may take some hits to your FPS and your overall quality. With interfaces, you can share information and between objects and save performance at the same time. So for this tutorial, I'm actually going to keep it really simple, show how to implement an interface, how to create one, and how to share a few bits of data between some objects. For this, I'm using the Advanced Locomotion System. I'll attach the link to the um, Unreal Engine Marketplace in the comment or in the description. So if you want to download it, you can use that. I like this because it has a lot of functionality built into it right away. So building off of it, it gives your game or your project a real smooth look just to begin with. So we're going to start with the interfaces. So what we're going to do, we're going to come here into our content browser. We're actually going to create a new blueprint interface, and we're going to call this character info interface. We're going to come in here, bring this up. So this is our interface. What we're going to do, we're going to add a couple parameters here. And the parameters we add here is what it's going to try to grab from one object to send to any other object that has this blueprint, this interface blueprint implemented. So we're going to add three parameters just to show off what we can do. We're going to add health, mana, and velocity. Health and mana are going to be floats. And velocity is going to be a vector. We're going to compile this and save it. And that's really all we're going to do here. And the other changes we're going to make are going to be within the actual blueprint and the objects that we want to implement this with. So we're going to go into our character blueprint. We're going to go to this base. This is the parent of the anim man. And this is where we're actually going to implement this interface. So to make this interface interact with this object, we're going to go to class settings. And here you have inherited interfaces. There are none. Implemented interfaces. We're going to say add, and we're going to say character info interface. This is the one we just created. So we're going to click that, and that adds it to our object. If we go over here to interfaces and expand this, we'll see new function. This is the one that we just created. We don't want that to say new function. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to go back into this and we're going to rename this to get character info. So once we compile and save that, we'll come back here and we'll see it says get character info. This we're going to open up in our character blueprint. Anything we put through here is going to go through that interface and it's going to come out on the other side of anything else that's interacting with that interface. So right now, our character does not have a health variable. No health variable, no mana, and the velocity is actually going to be attached to his character movement, so we'll get it that way. We're going to create our health variable. This is going to be a float to match that. We're going to have our mana variable, another float, and then we're going to have our velocity. which is going to be a vector. File and save that. We can bring our oh, we're going to disregard the velocity. It does exist within the character movement, which I did just say. So we're actually going to get rid of that variable. So we have our health and our mana. We're going to go ahead and do our velocity. So to get our velocity, we're going to pull out character movement, and we're simply going to say get velocity. That exists right there. That updates that. We're going to take our health to health, mana to mana. And now we have to come up with values for these. We're going to start our health at 100, start our mana at 50, and our velocity will take care of itself. This will create the initial values. So we'll actually go back into our level. So here, I'm actually going to create a way for us to display these. I'm just going to create some blueprints that will display them out here. So I want to create a blueprint class. We're just going to make an actor. And I'm just going to say info display blueprint. We're going to open that up. Within here, I want to add a text renderer. I'm actually going to add a few of these. This one will be health. Mana. And velocity. Let's do it in this order here. Health, mana, velocity. We can actually also do this right here and copy those, paste them. And this one, I don't want to say text. I want to say HP. Mana, I'm going to say MP. And velocity, I'm going to call velocity. So this will display our actual values once we get them. We don't have them calculated quite yet. So I want to come back to my scene. I'm going to drag this out to where we can see them. Turn this around. I want to display kind of big so we can see them. Now, right now, this isn't updating these values yet. We want to go back into our info display blueprint where we created this, and we want to go to the event graph. We also, first, actually, we want to go to class settings, and we're going to go to implemented interfaces. We want to add that character info interface, which is what we created. This will give us access to that information. what we're going to want to do here is, because it's going to change more than just getting set once, so we're going to go to the event tick. And from here, I actually want to, let's get the velocity first. We're going to say get player controller. Let's see, get pawn, get control pawn. So we want this so we can get access to the get movement component. Then we want to get character info. Actually, I think we can do it without this. Let's see, get control pawn, get character info. You want to put that, attach that right there. This is getting all these information points from our actual blueprint. And next, we actually want to update these values. The ones with one are going to be static strings. So I want to bring, let's see, set text render. We want to set text render for velocity. You can attach that straight up and create what we want. We want to do the same thing for the health. Oh, that's code. That will not help us out. Set text render. I need health. Now we're going to do one more. Set text render. We want to go mana. Let's actually do that same thing here. This looks a little messy. You can clean it up. Double click, create some nodes. You can move around, kind of clean things up so you can follow the paths. Especially one before we're doing. We're not going to focus on that too much. So now every tick it will update this information. We come into our level and we're going to play this, and we see HP is 100, MP is 50, and you see our velocity is updating as we move. We jump, our Z goes up, and that's a quick implementation of how to use an interface to display some data. This can be used to attach interactable objects. It can show off information from your character to display boards for goals, scores, anything without having to cast. So this will save a lot of processing power. So that's going to be it for this little short tutorial. And for the next one, we will actually work on some interactable objects using interfaces. We'll see you next time.